Good morning, good morning. My name is Reverend Leslie Goodwin, and I'm one of the senior ministers here at New Vision Center for Spiritual Living, and I want to extend my welcome to everyone. Whether this is your normal Sunday gig or it's your very first time, welcome home. Welcome home every time we engage with one another. Our seasonal theme right now, we're almost complete with it. We've got one more week. But our seasonal theme is being the beloved. And I found this wonderful quote that just really spoke to that for the title. So the title of this talk is Delighting the Creator. And that just sounds like such a fun talk, and it fits so beautifully in with Dawn's song about how we live and accepting ourselves and being our truth, and I adore it. And then the last 2 weeks happened. And part of me was like, ooh, is this the talk title for what's going on right now? Because I don't think I can stand on this platform and not address what's happening and not address it pretty directly. So there's a lot going on, right? We've got COVID-19, we've got isolation, we've got financial collapse. All of that has been happening and is unfolding. And I feel like sort of talking to the general, what's going on in the world for me right now would be the ministerial equivalent of saying all lives matter when somebody says Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. Yes, of course. But you know, when I say I love cheese, not one person has ever said to me, why do you hate tortillas? Ever. Saying Black Lives Matter and having that be in any way conflicting strikes me as insane. Dog lives matter. If you kick a dog, I'm coming after you. White people lives matter. Don't kill any little white kids. It'll be all over the news constantly, right? Constantly. One young woman went missing in the Bahamas 14 years ago, and they're still making 60-minute specials about it. And Black men and women are being murdered on the regular for years. This is not new. If this is new to you, welcome to the conversation. But it's not new. So here I am. There's genuine conflict about whether or not Black Lives Matter in our country right now. Like, genuinely, people are having fights about it. And I'm going to talk about delighting God. I was told when I was a kid, very regularly, if you're not where you're not supposed to be, doing what you're not supposed to be doing, you'll be fine. And you know what? That has largely been true in my life. And I am a 5'4" white woman from Iowa that looks like the least dangerous human you could possibly encounter. So yeah, it has worked for me. And I've been in the car with African American friends when we're getting pulled over for usually me driving badly. And I've seen the fear in their eyes, and I've had them say, you have to talk to the cops. I can't talk to the cops. It's real. If there's any part of you that's wondering if this is real, please educate yourself. Please. Please. So I went back to that quote that I thought was so great. This is a great quote to pick this name out of. And then I realized, no, it is still the right quote. It is still the right name for this talk. This is what Ernest Holmes said. He said this in Ideas of Power. The universe exists for the delight of its creator, that it shall behold itself in its own works, know its beauty in that which is beautiful, and in us, I believe, behold its beloved child in whom it is well pleased. The universe exists for the delight of its Creator. So I think to feel into what that quote really means for us, we have to kind of take it apart and look at this idea of being the beloved, which is our theme, being the beloved in relation to the beloved, meaning the divine, God, the universe. We have to look at being the beloved in relation to the self, and we have to look at being the beloved in relation to community, in relation to everybody else out there, right? What does that mean? How can I believe that the universe exists for the delight of the Creator? How can I be a part of that delighting of the Creator in this context, in any context? So being the beloved in relationship to the beloved, it's going to give us an opportunity to really break this quote down. So let's keep the quote up on the slide. We're going to take it apart a little bit. The first piece I want to look at is, it shall behold itself in its own works. The universe exists for the delight of the Creator so that it can behold itself in its own works. That is saying that God makes everything out of God. There isn't anything else to make anything out of. It's making its works are created of itself. And when it looks upon those works being the existence and behavior of that which has been created by God, when it looks upon that, it sees that aspect of itself that it could in no other way encounter. So if Reverend Karen isn't the Reverend Kareniest version of Reverend Karen, then God will never see that aspect of itself. We'll never get to play with that aspect. So she's called to her highest and her fullest, which is what we get to experience, because that's how it works. The next piece I want to look at is, it knows beauty in that which is beautiful. It knows beauty in that which is beautiful. You know, Plato said that we inherently, as humans, find beautiful that which is good, and that which is good for us. We find beauty in wholeness, in kindness, in compassion. That's why we all cry at long-distance commercials. I miss you, Grandpa. And then we all cry, right? Because it is natural and healthy to find beautiful that which is good. So it's not just beautiful sights. It's beautiful actions, beautiful intentions, beautiful choices. It's when we walk out the divine qualities that the divine is delighted in that beauty. And the third piece I want to look at is, we are its beloved children. We are the works which it is looking at. We are the works being beheld, and we are being called to, invited to, demanded of, that we be beautiful for the delight of the Creator. Whew, take a breath. So this is not a fluffy quote. This is not an airy-fairy quote. There's a lot jammed into this quote. And so if we can wrap our brain around this quote, that we are its beloved children, that walks us right into this idea of, how do I be the beloved? How do I be that godness in me in relation to my own self? We have this tendency to minimize, to step away from, to lessen our own belief and our impact in the world. We have this tendency to fail to really anchor into what's going on around us. A Facebook comment does not anchoring make. Ernest said in Help for Today, the real you that came through human parentage is an original, creative, wonderful human being. You are God's beloved child. This isn't a myth. It's real. I believe that accepting this premise is steps 1, 2, and 3 in relating to the self as the beloved. This isn't a nice idea that we talk about on Sundays. It's real. If we are really God in form, if we are really responsible for creating the beauty that delights the Creator, the then I better know myself pretty fully if I think I have a relationship with God. I better know myself. Oneness does not mean sameness. They're completely different words. And in fact, if God expected sameness, it would have created one person. But it didn't. It created infinite people. And so if I'm going to be, like Karen is being the Kareniest, if I'm going to be the Leslieist, then I'd better know me. What do I value? What do I think is important? What is mine to give, to share, to be? What do I believe and why? When I know that fully enough, I am solid in my beliefs. And when I can connect that solidity of understanding of myself with spiritual practice, so I bring it all together and aligned, I can release something called cognitive dissonance. Everybody out there who took Psych 101 in college is going, oh, I vaguely remember that vocabulary word. Cognitive dissonance. It's when what you have programmed into your head does not match the information you're getting, and it makes you uncomfortable. When you hit a moment of cognitive dissonance, you have two choices. One is to fold yourself into the old belief and go, la, 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 la. All lives matter. I am colorblind. None of this is real. I'm sure the police are nice. And we've all seen some people do that. We may be people who have done that in the last couple of weeks. Because the idea that people are being murdered is very upsetting if our worldview is that doesn't happen or that can't happen in America. So you can either fold in and shut down, or you can find out more and be open to shifting those beliefs based on the information you have. But if you're caught in cognitive dissonance and you want to fold in, that's where you get caught in defensiveness, in needing to prove other people wrong. When you are anchored in your beliefs, you're able to pivot. You know what you believe and why. So if something conflicts with it, the natural response isn't no, 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 no. The natural response is, really? Where did you read that? I want to read that. Who did you talk to? I want to talk to that person. What did you see? When we're anchored in who we are, we do not have to pretend that we have to be right to be okay. When we're anchored in who we are as a beloved child of God, we know that it is okay to grow and change and expand and learn more. That it's okay to have a different opinion than we used to have. We know that it's okay to like cheese, and it doesn't mean we hate tortillas. We know that it's okay to turn our full attention to a particular social problem, and that it doesn't mean that we think all the other social problems don't matter. When we're stuck in cognitive dissonance, we're frozen. But when we know ourselves, we're free from that trap. And this opens us up to the idea of being the beloved in the community. Another way we might say this is being the hands and feet of God out in the world, shining the light. These are phrases we use all the time, and I'm just going to call it what it is. This week in the United States of America, it means being anti-racist. Not just not somebody who isn't mean to black people, not just someone who doesn't bother those people. That's an actual phrase somebody said to me this week. I don't bother those people. Like, oh, you don't even hear yourself. But deciding to be part of the active movement in the correction of the systemic problems that have held Black, Indigenous, and people of color back for centuries. We are an infinitely powerful, creative group of people. And if we decide to, we can be part of the solution. We can shut up and listen. Woo! That's hard. I really like to talk. We can shut up and listen. We can read some stuff. We can help some stuff. We can donate some money. We can be a part of a conversation of healing and correction. We can. We can. But, first we have to pray up. Pray up. And for some of us, this will take 10 minutes, and for some of us, this will take 10 months. We have to get in alignment with who we are and whose we are and what we are, because any action taken before that is reaction. Any action we take before we're aligned adds to the problem. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be livid. It's actually really rational to be livid. But action taken from that place is what causes rioting. What we want to do is center, and listen to the still small voice. I tell you what, if the still small voice tells you to riot, I'm not going to have a thing to say against you. I've just never heard anybody's still small voice do that. Listen to what you're being called to do. And I'm here to tell you, I don't care what that is. It's not my job to be your indwelling experience of God. But once you activate that energy and connect with it fully, then we take action from that place. We take real, specific action from that place. Now, there's a good chance that somebody out there is saying, but in religious science, we just pray. We just pray. That's what we do. Aha! Reverend Karen found me a quote. This is what Ernest Holmes has to say. Now, what isn't in this quote, and I will preface this, is everything he wrote everywhere said you pray and meditate first. You pray and you meditate, you pray and you meditate. And then he says, but faith without works is dead. We should not only pray, we should act, each contributing the best he has to the common purpose, each willing to make any sacrifice necessary, one in a certain sense a selfish one, for we all desire self-preservation, but the other in the greater sense that there can be no individual self-preservation without the preservation of all. There can be no individual self-preservation without the preservation of all. There can be no freedom until we are all free. Black lives can't matter. All lives can't matter until Black lives matter. All lives can't matter until Black lives matter. Black is a part of all. Black is a part of all. So breathe that in. We should not only pray, but act, each contributing the best we have to the common purpose. And what does that look like? It looks like knowing beauty in that which is beautiful. How are we each going to choose to be beautiful this week? Let's deepen that in with some prayer. So good it is to stand here and speak the truth. So good it is to stand in that place of radical inclusivity with all people. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter, until Indigenous lives matter, until Latino lives matter, until gay and trans lives matter. And my heart is right there with families that have experienced brutality, with good police that are seeking to make changes, including some in my own family, with activists and community organizers and spiritual warriors in prayer and meditation on this topic, even as I speak this prayer. So good it is to know that the infinite love of the universe is right here, right here. In this too is God. And so I know at the heart of each one of us, that still small voice is whispering exactly what is ours to do this day, this week, this month, this year, to create a world that works for everyone, everyone. Because there is no self-preservation without preservation for all. There is no freedom without freedom for all. There is no unconditional love without love for all. And so I simply trust that the one is guiding and leading us, opening amazing pathways for healing and hope. And I call it good. And so it is.